Now I think we were, now next speaker is Avinash Rai Khanna.
Thank you, sir.
Now I would,
All parties have spoken except by rotation. We should have, it's our turn. I mean, I have nothing against Mr. Khanna speaking, but all political parties by rotation.
why didn't you give them in writing to me? Last day, which was the last speaker?
INC speaker, sir.
Eh?
From INC, they were over, but they are the first speaker. They have not yet started.
Why they didn't start?
NCP. NCP has also not started.
Why? Why ATC did not start the other day?
As all political parties get a chance.
I don't mind doing that also.
Yes, sir.
To put the record straight, you wanted to speak to the...
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate. Thank you, sir.
Like that, Derek O'Brien also wanted to speak today. He is not there. Okay, I will start with the... no, it's, okay. I understood. Derek O'Brien is here? No. Then they have spoken. Sri Praful Patel. I know. You wanted this.
No, Deputy Chairman, sir, I'm sorry.
This is how you manage.
No, sir. No, there was no confusion, sir. I was not here on Friday in the evening, and therefore I requested that I be speaking today, and I was given to understand that all political parties have spoken. There's nothing to manage, sir. And
all right. I agree. I agree with you. But one point, one point I have to make it clear that every party should adhere to the time, because otherwise
I will go less than the time, okay, sir?
Your time is 14 minutes.
So therefore, in consideration of you giving me a chance, I will speak less.
Bargain.
Deputy Chairman, sir, I am here to speak on the railway budget, and first and foremost, I would like to compliment my dear friend Suresh Prabhu, who I feel is an outstanding parliamentarian and a minister who has a no-nonsense approach, who has, I'm sure even in his earlier role as the power minister of our country, contributed immensely for bringing discipline and a forward thinking in his ministry then, and I'm sure the same kind of thought process will be visible in this new role of his. I must also say that I think I have been in Parliament now for 24 years. I have not seen a single railway budget which has, I would say, withstood the pressures of populism, and has in fact focused on bringing the railways back to financial health, and also to bring it back into a situation where it truly contributes as its primary role of being the engine of growth for the nation. Sir, I would like to say, sir, that many comprehensive things are required, especially bringing back the fiscal health of the railways. There is a situation which is very alarming. We have, on one hand, a situation where unless and until there is fiscal prudence, probably the railways don't have money to pay even the salaries on time. If I am correct, I am sure the railway minister will acknowledge this when he replies. And for a large entity as big as the railways, I mean, we have probably, if you see the railways and the size and the scale and the number of people which the railway employs, I think it is truly a situation where we cannot comprehend the fact that railways today is in such a financial dire straits, and we need to solve this problem as immediately as possible. And there are many contributory factors for this kind of a decline. For many years, I think our investment in railways has, while it has come in scattered and bits and pieces, I would say, rather than a comprehensive approach. We fritter away our scarce resources. For example, we have railway lines which we are laying all across the length and breadth of the country. I'm sure every member of parliament or every area of this country, irrespective of the member of parliament, is crying for connectivity and railway services in their own areas. And that is why over the years, we have seen successive announcements for the creation of new railway lines. I can give you one example, even say of lines which have been, agreed to be converted from narrow gauge to broad gauge, or lines which have to be from single line to a double line conversion. Such kind of projects also have been going on for years and years, let alone the completion of the new projects which have been announced. In Maharashtra, I can give you an example which I'm sure Suresh Prabhu ji will know, is Nagpur, Yavatmal, Nanded. Now that line has been, the kind of monies which we are providing for these kind of lines, I think that money is, I would not say ill spent, but I think it is not being spent well, because that money, unless and until whatever has been put into that railway line, if it is going to materialize after 25 years or 30 years with the kind of, little monies which we provide, it is better to use that money and complete a project which can be finished with a little bit of additional funds. And as a result, what has happened, sir, is that a lot of, I would say, dead investment has taken place, which in a way is affecting the financial health of the railways. So many places we have announced new lines, surveys have been announced, people are sitting in expectation. Suddenly one fine day, whoever comes from that area, represents in Parliament, is able to carry his voice with the concerned authorities, is then able to get a little bit more money for that line. So as a consequence, people are living in hope, but the money of the railway, instead of being converted into productive asset, is being just parked in a place where the productivity will be forever, in limbo. So I think, sir, these are some of the things which I get the impression from the Railway Minister's speech in the budget, that he is trying to rectify, and he is trying to first get hold of the low-hanging fruit and try to see that what are the lines which can be completed and which will then contribute not only to connectivity for faster movement of goods and services, but also will add to the financial health of the railways, to improve the financial health of the railways. So I think this is a notable and a good step which he has taken. I can also, tell you of so many instances, sir, where we have seen, like when we talk of the power sector or some other related sectors like steel and cement and all, who are dependent, say, on coal as a primary source of fuel. The Coal India's production, sir, if you really see, is pretty decent. But the problem is of evacuating that coal. The problem of evacuating the coal is in the absence of either last mile connectivity between the mine and the railway network, or the undercapacity of the railway network in those areas where evacuation is a must. I think these are certain areas which comprehensively need to be addressed. I remember when we were in government, there was a discussion once on the exact situation what I am talking of, evacuation of coal. And we realized, sir, that even if another maximum 2,000 kilometers of new railway lines in and around eastern India or wherever the coal fields are more concentrated in central India, if they were laid and they were connected to the main network of the railways, I think that would comprehensively change the way the power production in this country would be. And that is why I think the railways are very important, and the primary focus to my advice to the railway minister would be that he should take care of these kind of issues, especially the last mile connectivity in the evacuation of coal. Even all across the country, sir, if you really strengthen 4 or 5 trunk corridors, and I'm sure I don't have to elaborate those corridors, everybody is aware of which are the main trunk corridors, the railway minister is even more aware, where there is a very high density of volume and traffic. We have 2 lines. To lay a 3rd line in those limited corridors, I think should be the priority of the government. It's not just about passenger trains. Of course, passenger trains are a must and they should be given the highest priority in terms of having faster trains reaching one point to the other. But I think a lot of our, raw materials, whether it's food grains, whether it's coal, whether it's steel, cement, and other such huge items, commodity items, need to be transported by railways efficiently. And I think the concept of having dedicated freight corridors, which is already in the annual, I don't think this is what we are talking something today is some novel idea. It has been in the works, it is being discussed for many, many years. But the net result is yet to happen. We are not yet seeing any concrete movement in that direction. And I am sure the Railway Minister has looked into these issues and would be giving it the maximum attention. As I said, sir, instead of scattering and frittering our scarce resources all across the country in 20 or 50 projects, I think if 3 or 4 projects of national importance are taken up as a priority, that will truly change the way the railway network functions, and both in terms of the country's requirements as well as even for passengers. If you have a dedicated freight corridor, it opens up that much of space on that railway line for passenger movement. And what we are talking of faster trains, more efficient trains, I think that reality can only happen when you are freeing those railway networks from freight movement, especially on those high density lines. I think this is something which needs to be done. Also, sir, in our country it's unfortunate. I have spoken to the Railway Minister at a personal level, and I'm sure acknowledges it. We have not really encouraged the concept of multimodal connectivity. I'll give you an example, sir. Very simple for everybody to understand. Say you land at Delhi airport. When the new Terminal 3 was being made, I did make a conscious effort. I'm sorry we did not get through. I mean, I was probably isolated in my approach. But what we were planning, sir, or what should be done, what has not been done doesn't mean it can't be done tomorrow. Captain Satish Sharma is an avid flyer, he'll realize what I'm saying. You land in Delhi airport, you would go down to the basement, you would probably get a corridor straight connecting you to the Indian Railways. You have it in Frankfurt, you have it in London, it happens in so many cities across the world. I'm not inventing the wheel, I'm just trying to say that what has happened should be done here. And if you had a railway network, if you got down from a plane at Delhi airport and you wanted to go to Chandigarh, you'd get onto a fast train straight from Delhi airport and you'd be there in 3 hours. You'd be in Jaipur in 3 hours, you'd be in Agra in 3 hours, you could be in so many places within the distance of 200, 300 kilometers of Delhi within a few hours. So you would actually be saving on time, you would be saving on money, and it would ensure seamless connectivity. This happens, and why can't it happen in our country? This should have happened in every single major, I would say, metro city of our country, which connects. Therefore, I feel, sir, that even though we have missed the bus so far, it is never too late, and I am sure the Railway Minister will look at these issues very, very objectively. Even when we talk of multimodal transport, sir, we have metros now. Every city has a metro virtually coming up or on the anvil. Now, so many cities where it's come up or it is yet to come up, I think we should have some kind of an integration of the metro with the railways. Ultimately, it can't work in isolation. A railway network and a metro network should be coordinated. If I have to go from Janakpuri to Indira Gandhi Airport, and from Indira Gandhi Airport, if I have to go wherever, I must have an integrated solution. I can't be asked to get off at one place, then go into another transportation mode, and then again back to that. It doesn't work. And therefore, if India's cities are to grow, and if the smart city concept, I'm not talking of smart city as only in terms of connectivity, I'm also talking in terms of physical connectivity. No city can be a world-class city unless and until it has multimodal mode of transportation. You should have a common calling card. It's like a pass which you use on the metro, you use on the Indian Railways, and you can probably even use it for other modes of transportation. So I think this is a holistic approach for transportation planning which we have unfortunately missed in our country. And the time is, it's never too late, sir. We have to make a beginning somewhere, and I hope my friend Suresh Prabhu will look at these issues of connectivity, multimodal transportation in a very, very holistic way, and I think that will truly redefine the way we travel. Sir, he's talked of high-speed trains, welcome sign, no issues, nobody can dispute that, but I would say instead of this so-called our fascination for bullet trains, well, even if you have it, I am not going to come in your way or I'm not going to criticize you for that. But the most important thing for you would be to have even the train which moves at 110 or 120 kilometers an hour, forget the 160 kilometers. But if it moves efficiently, if you are able to provide the services which passengers expect, I mean, I can understand the pressure on Indian Railways is immense. When you have 2 crore people traveling every day by the Indian Railway network, it is not something which can be compared with any other part of the world. So therefore, if somebody says, my European experience on a railway was something, or American experience, or Japanese or Chinese experience was different, I think we should not get into that kind of an issue. We don't have to copy anybody, we don't have to get mixed up with issues. But at the same time, sir, while we've got the new experience of the Rajdhanis over the last 10, 20 years, we got the Durontos and the other kinds of trains which have actually good trains, but I think if we improve the level of service, the cleanliness, the seating arrangement, the kind of seating, why not, I mean, instead of building a bullet train which will cost us 30, 40, 50,000 crores, and please do it. But on the other side, let's have some models. Why don't you get a study done, say maybe of European railway network, and see what kind of, equipment they are using, and try to bring a few rakes of that kind and use it on certain corridors like Delhi, Jaipur, Delhi, Agra, some places of tourism where people from all over the world come. Let their experience be pleasant, let their experience be world class, and I don't think people will mind paying you for a good service. But please do that, because today Pradhan Mantri ji is talking of tourism. I appreciate that concept. Having been in aviation for many years, I know the importance of tourism. But the tourism numbers, it's not going to be just a happy experience by giving visas on arrival. Please do that, but also you have to make the experience of the person traveling in the country as world class and as good and as efficient also. So we need to work on certain such, I'll finish, sir, very, very briefly. And therefore we need to do that kind of experimentation. At least please bring some good rakes from wherever in the world. Don't be under the impression that we'll get everything made within the country. Fine, we need that, we have factories for that, we do that. But try to experiment with 4 or 6 rakes from wherever, run them in few of these corridors, and I'm telling you what that will change and redefine the experience of Indian Railways. I don't think anything else will be able to do that. So it's not just about speed, it's also about the kind of experience you offer. And sir, I will not go into too much of detail, but one thing is certain, sir. We have China, we don't want to compare ourselves with any other country, but they have built a railway all across Tibet at what altitude and coming all the way almost to our doorstep. When such kind of corridors are being built in difficult terrain, we also in our country must look at certain issues of how do we build our train networks. Yes, we are doing a great job. We built a network to Kashmir. We've got a train to Katra. We've got, trains coming. The Konkan Railway is a fine example of a difficult terrain. But I think considering such a big country and the kind of engineering expertise we have and the kind of record we have, I think we should be able to target more difficult projects at a much more, I would say, better pace. And that's why you must do work on these issues.
आपकी गोंदिया और जबलपुर लाइन
हाँ
कितने वर्षों से आपकी है वो?
बिल्कुल हाँ मैं अभी वो बात तो अभी आया ही नहीं था, पर अभी शुरुआत में कहा गोंदिया जबलपुर लाइन की जो आप उनके शरद जी जबलपुर के ही थे, अब वो चले गए बिहार और दिल्ली, मगर ये इनका बचपन कॉलेज का जीवन जबलपुर में, और हम इनको गोंदिया में जब ये आते थे भाषण करने स्टूडेंट लीडर के नाते, तब हम इनको सुना करते थे। हम आपसे बहुत छोटे थे मगर फिर भी आपके तब से प्रशंसक थे। मगर इतना ही मैं कहूँगा, अभी जैसे गोंदिया जबलपुर का इन्होंने एग्जाम्पल दिया, 20 साल हो गए साहब, 20 साल से उसका ब्रॉडगेज कन्वर्शन नहीं हुआ है, 20 साल हो गए, और 40 किलोमीटर हो गया और बाकी का 200 किलोमीटर वो बालाघाट से वो मंडला और आगे से अपना नैनपुर वो सब पूरा रुका हुआ है। और क्यों है ये भी बताता हूं आपको, उसमें कुछ पर्यावरण के इश्यूज आ गए। अब पर्यावरण के मामले में मैं कुछ ज्यादा नहीं कहूंगा, क्योंकि ज्यादा बोलो तो भी पिटाई होती है, कम बोलो तो भी पिटाई होती है, इसलिए मैं बहुत समझदारी से कहूंगा, लेकिन इतना कहूंगा कि ये अननेसेसरी अब जहां ऑलरेडी रेलवे पटरी है, वो नैरो गेज से ब्रॉड गेज करने में आपको एनवायरनमेंट का क्या ऐसा नया बदल हो गया? ट्रेन तो चली रही थी, सड़कों में भी वही हालत है, रेलवे में भी वही हालत है। जहां नई लाइन बिछ रही हो वहां मैं समझ सकता हूं आप पर्यावरण की बात करें। फ्रॉम अ नैरो गेज टू अ ब्रॉड गेज, व्हाट इज द एनवायरमेंटल इंपैक्ट यू आर गोइंग टू स्टडी देयर? एंड लाइन्स गेट डिलेड फॉर 20 years। तो इसीलिए कहीं ना कहीं सुरेश जी, आप इस बारे में भी आप अवश्य चिंतन करेंगे। मैं ज्यादा कुछ नहीं कहूंगा, आप बेहतर सेवा प्रदान करें, और जैसे मैंने कहा कुछ थोड़े ऐसे उदाहरण करिए। और मल्टी मॉडल ट्रांसपोर्ट कॉर्पोरेशन आप बनाने जा रहे हैं, ये अच्छी बात है। मतलब आपके दिमाग में, आपके मन में वही बात है जो मैं आपको कह रहा हूं, लेकिन इसको कार्यान्वित करना हमारे देश में सबसे बड़ी बात। एक दुर्भाग्य यह है कि हम बातें बहुत करते हैं, उसको एग्जीक्यूशन कितना करते हैं। मुझे एक बात का गर्व है, यहाँ खुद मैं अपनी बड़ाई करने के लिए नहीं खड़ा हूं, लेकिन मैं भी जब वहां एविएशन में मंत्रालय में था तो 5 साल में इस देश के सभी हवाई अड्डों का नवनिर्माण करने का काम वो किया, वो 5 वर्षों में किया। वो मैं समझता हूं कि ज्यादा महत्व की बात है। इसीलिए आप, टाइम इज द एसेंस, एग्जीक्यूशन इज द एसेंस। योर डिजायर्स, योर विशेस आर ऑनरेबल, but it must be translated into affirmative action. My good wishes to you.
Thank you, Mr. Praful Patel. Thank you.
प्रभु जी से कहूँगा कि जो प्रफुल्ल जी ने उठाया है, यानी करोड़ों रुपए बचेगा आपका। यानी इस लाइन के बनने के बाद गोंदिया और जबलपुर वाली, और इनने ठीक कहा कि नैरो गेज वहाँ चल रही है, तो इसलिए आपकी नज़र में कि उसमें बहुत कम, और यदि उस पर आप ध्यान दे देंगे तो इतनी दूरी कम हो जाएगी नॉर्थ और साउथ की। इसका अंदाज आप लगवा लीजिए अपने डिपार्टमेंट कि कितना सेव होगा, कितनी बिजली बचेगी। तो मेरी आपसे विनती आपके माध्यम से है कि ये मामला गंभीर मामला उठाया है, इसको जरूर।
डॉक्टर अशोक गांगुली।
Mr. Deputy Chairman, through you, I am very proud to be addressing the Honorable Railway Minister. I am glad that he is here.
You have to address the chair, not him.
I am addressing him through you. I am expressing my pleasure through you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
And particularly, since he is a professional chartered accountant, after 1928, when the railway budget started being presented separately, Shri Prabhu, you have a unique opportunity to bring financial discipline and transparency in a railway which is a hugely complicated and undiscernible corporation. It's very good, but it's undiscernible. I'm particularly glad, Mr. Chairman, that the Honorable Minister has not promised to connect every hamlet in the country. What a refreshing change. However, there are some huge opportunities which I'm going to list. But before I do so, I had a small question for the Honorable Minister, Mr. Chairman. Why increase the freight rates at such an inopportune moment? Get the freight system going, as Shri Praful Patel had mentioned, and then you charge. Give the service and then you do charge. Perfectly legitimate, because then you will be competitive. I have a particular point. Regarding the railway board. The railway board must be a 21st century board. The board must be the instrument to modernize and professionalize the railways. You may kindly think of inducting professional independent directors to bring about corporate governance and external thinking onto the board, which unfortunately due to events not so long ago has a shadow cast on it. Because of you, Honorable Minister, through the Chairman, I request you to kindly introduce the latest accounting and auditing procedures which are followed universally in the public sector and the private sector. And please promote meritocracy from the brilliant railway services rather than what unfortunately happened recently. My second is regarding railways being the instrument for attracting mega investments for the economic revival, both domestic and foreign, by launching couple of large PPP projects which will fire the imagination of the country and the world. For example, will you think about a worldwide launch of a railway bond, Indian railway bond, and take the railway roadshow across the world and let the world know what we are doing and what we propose to do? You can do it, Honorable Minister, through Chairman. Another suggestion is to use the PPP mode for railway station modernization and provide safety and security like the airports do. Why can't we do it? Can this be used as a source of CSR investment, for example? Modernize it, restrict visitors by introducing well-priced entrance tickets, as well as the numbers who can accompany passengers who are leaving or passengers who have come to be received. My another suggestion is that you must, during your time, you have a 5-year period, during your time, ensure that all level crossing, I underline the all, not this region or that region, all level crossing to be automated as a safety feature to prevent the gruesome accidents that are still occurring in this day and age. For doing this, I request you to examine another innovation, Honorable Minister, through the Chairman. Would you consider setting up of an independent safety committee for the Indian Railways, which will be required by you, Honorable Minister, to submit a quarterly report on the status of safety and what is being done to improve the safety beyond any reasonable doubt for this civilized part of this century. And in turn, Railway Minister, although this might sound a little highfalutin, if you could kindly consider yourself to produce a one-page white paper every quarter on the state of the Indian Railways, your address through your cabinet to the nation. I would request you to consider this, please. I now come to a little bit of self-interest and request you to investigate making some radical improvement and upgradation of the Western and Central Railways local system in and around Mumbai, because 6 million people depend on their livelihood, both men and women, every day on the Western and Central Railways. And they are being stretched beyond their capacity. Mr. Minister, I never speak long because I've been trained by the Honorable Deputy Chairman. So I'm going to conclude my speech. I have told you whatever I want. I want to reassure you, Mr. Minister, through the Deputy Chairman, that you have got 5 years ahead of you, or say 4.5 years. I hope you have got you don't have to share it with us, but I hope you have a 16-quarter or say 18-quarter plan in which you will produce 18 white papers, your account to the nation, what you're going to do. I hope under you the railways become the trigger of revived investments, imaginative investment instruments, into which both national and international investors would be attracted. You do not have the organization right now. The Finance Ministry has to collaborate with you, Honorable Minister, and there has to be a special purpose vehicle to trigger the railway as the engine of growth, please pardon the pun, as the engine of growth for this nation's revival. I thank you, Deputy Chairman, for providing me this opportunity, and I wish you all the best, Honorable Railway Minister, through the Deputy Chairman. Thank you indeed.
Thank you. Sri Kikio Simomi? No. Sri MP Achuthan?
Thank you, sir. This year's railway budget is a repetition of what we have got during the last many years as far as Kerala is concerned. Whenever we discuss railway budget, we members from Kerala, including our Honorable Deputy Chairman, raises the issue of neglect to Kerala. The basic needs of Kerala are not being reflected in this year's budget also. What is the basic need of Kerala? To improve the railway facilities in Kerala, three things must be done. That is doubling of the track, electrification and automatic signalling system. Only by doing this, we can have more trains to Kerala. But unfortunately, this year also, the railway budget has neglected the genuine demands of Kerala. 413 crore is allotted to doubling of tracks in Kerala. It is a little bit bigger than last year's allocation. It's good. But what is the need? The need is more than 1,000 crore. And what is the all India allocation for doubling in this year's budget? It is 98,000 crores. Out of 98,000 crores, Kerala got only 430. That is even not 0.5%. A state Kerala. So this must have been corrected, and a time-bound program must be there to doubling, to complete the doubling work in Kerala. And of course, electrification and automatic signaling system. And we have this coach factory. For the last 35 years, we are hearing that a coach factory will be materialized in Kerala, in Palghat. The state government has given more than 1,000 acres of land, but still it is pending. Nothing is done. And so many projects announced in the last 5 years, none is implemented. So for me, I am demanding that don't announce more projects to Kerala. Just to implement what you have done, you have announced in the last 2 or 3 years budget. It will be sufficient for Kerala. We don't want proclamations, promises, but we want concrete action to implement these projects. And that for Trivandrum, if the connectivity has to be improved in Trivandrum, that Namang coach depot, it was announced 3 years back, but no action is being taken. Enough land is there, but the railway board is not taking action to implement it. The main feature of this budget is privatization. This government, the last UPA government also began that process, want to privatize the railway through PPP and FDI. We are hearing lot of promises on this PPP. Can the minister point out one project which has been implemented through PPP? No. Only this promise, PPP, and so ambitious that within 5 years, more than 8 lakhs crores will be invested in railway. From where? Now, the last day, our honorable minister has said that he has got 1,50,000 crores within 3 years from LIC. That is the route. Why do you go for PPP and private investment? Enough money is in our country. You can utilize the amount deposit in LIC and banks and other public sector financial institutions. You can utilize. Railway has thousands of acres of land. You can plug the land and get the loan from LIC and other financial institutions. And if you go for privatization from private parties, the corporates, from where they are getting the money? Is it there from their pocket? No. They are utilizing the money in the public sector financial institutions. That source you can tap. You can, without the mercy of this private sector and private corporate, railway can implement this program. You have the land, you have the infrastructure, you have the management capacity. Then why do you go for privatization? And tell me, in which country the railway has been developed by private sector without the adequate investment in the public sector? When we talk about privatization of railways, the minister is not here. Our honorable commerce minister, she is well versed with the international experience. As Minister of State is here, but I mean Suresh Prabhu, because he is considered to be a management expert. What is the experience of Britain? It was Margaret Thatcher who invented these neoliberal policies, implemented first the
Achuthan,
neoliberal policies in world over and
Achuthan,
yeah, just
if you go to Britain, there will be no time to come back.
no, just one more. No, just please, I will come back to Kerala. I will be back to Kerala from Britain. No, so Margaret Thatcher privatized British Railway, and what is the position now? They are re-nationalizing railways in Britain. That is experience. Nowhere it has been succeeded. So, and after so many years, and we are going for privatization. And mind it, the employees of the railway, they are going for direct struggle action against this privatization program. Policy of the government. There was a strike ballot in railway. More than 96% of the Indian railwaymen supported this strike ballot. That shows the mood of the people, mood of the employees in railway. So, please desist from this suicidal move for privatizing our
Yes, time over.
right Indian railway and get the help of LIC and other public sector financial institutions to implement the railway development project. Thank you. And one more thing, I will be failing my duty without mentioning that there are more than 2 lakhs posts filled to vacancies in railway. That is, nearly 1 lakh posts are directly connected with the security and safety. Railway, drivers and so on. So you are telling that zero tolerance to security, this accident and safety, and without filling this crucial post, how can you achieve this? So please take immediate action to fill the vacancies in Indian Railway. Thank you.
Sri Hussain Dalwai.
थैंक यू सर। मुझे बड़ी खुशी हो रही है कि सुरेश प्रभु जी रेलवे मिनिस्टर बन गए। मेरे ख्याल से मैं कोंकण से आता हूँ और कोंकण
चला नहीं अभी माइक चल रहा है।
कोंकण के तीसरे माइक ऑन है ऐसा दिखाई देता है।
नहीं आवाज नहीं आ रही आप
नहीं इनके दबाने थोड़े लोगों को दबाओ। रेलवे कैसा है? दो अपना दिखाई देता है। कांग्रेसी हैं इनका ये हो गया। हेलो, ये तीसरे मंत्री हैं। पहले एस.के. पाटिल थे, बड़े मजबूत आदमी थे और उन्होंने रेल में थोड़ी बहुत सुधार भी किया था। दूसरे मधुदंड थे जिन्होंने कोंकण रेलवे लाने का काम, जॉर्ज फर्नांडिस साहब वो भी कोंकण के थे, उन्होंने कोंकण रेलवे लाया। और तीसरे अभी प्रभु जी बन गए हैं, तो उनसे बड़ी अपेक्षा है। सुरेश प्रभु जी के पास प्रभु की भी कृपा है। सब मैंने रेलवे बजट पढ़ा तो उपसभापति जी, मुझे ध्यान में आया कि सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट इसके लिए खास कुछ मदद करती नहीं। वहां से 42% उनको मदद मिलने वाली है। रेलवे से जनरेट होने वाला कुछ 17.8% मिलेगा और 40% कहां से आएगा, कौन से रिसोर्सेज से आएगा, उसकी मालूमात ठीक ढंग से दी नहीं है। LIC से बहुत सारा फंड मिलने वाला है, उसकी कुछ बातचीत हो भी गई है और आगे की बात उन्होंने जो रखा है वो अदर इंस्टीट्यूशंस, जिसमें फॉरेन इंस्टीट्यूशंस इन्वेस्टर्स बड़े पैमाने पे है। क्या है उसके बारे में स्पेल आउट किया गया नहीं है। मैं थोड़ा एक दो बातें और कहूँगा जिसके ऊपर रेलवे मंत्री ने ये सोच विचार करना बहुत ज़रूरी है। इसके पहले भी मैं ये बात बोल चुका हूँ। रेलवे के पास मेट्रो सिटीज में बड़े पैमाने पर ज़मीन है, ट्रैक के दोनों बाजू है। ट्रैक बढ़ेंगे तो अच्छी बात है, उसके लिए ज़मीन छोड़ के भी ज़मीन है, उसका उपयोग कमर्शियली जो करना चाहिए रेलवे करती नहीं। उसके ऊपर बड़े पैमाने पर एनक्रोचमेंट हुई है और आजकल रेलवे के ऑफिसर ही कुछ बिल्डर को पूरी तरह से मदद करते हैं। उसका मैं उदाहरण देता हूं। मैं रेलवे मंत्री को 3-4 दफा लेटर पत्र लिखा हूं। सुरेश जी को भी मैंने ये लिखा है कि मैं जहां रहता हूं वहां बहरामपाड़ा है, मैं रहता हूं उधर ही गोलीबार है, बांद्रा ईस्ट से लेके वे खार तक, सांताक्रूज तक 300-400 एकड़ की जमीन, सॉरी 1000 एकड़ की जमीन आज बिल्डरों के घसे में डालने की बात चली है और उसके बारे में हम लोगों ने कंप्लेन की। मैं रेलवे के ऑफिसर्स को मिला, एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन को लिखा, लेकिन वही उनको बिल्डर को मदद कर रहे हैं। क्या आप इसके ऊपर कुछ करेंगे क्या? सारे कागजात इसके लिए देने के लिए मैं तैयार हूं। मेरा ये नहीं कहना कि वहां जो लोग रहते हैं झोपड़पट्टियां करके उनको हकाल दो, ऐसा मेरा कहना नहीं, लेकिन आप वहां कमर्शियल कॉम्प्लेक्स खड़ा करेंगे तो बड़े पैमाने के ऊपर रेलवे को पैसा मिलेगा और वहां के लोगों को रहने का भी इंतजाम आप कर सकते हैं। आप वहां के बिल्डरों के सारी जमीन बिल्डरों को देने के बजाय इस तरह का करेंगे तो मेरे ख्याल से आपके पास बड़े पैमाने पर पैसा आएगा। दूसरा यह है कि हम AC में प्रवास करते हैं। आप 4 सेक्शन बनाइए, फर्स्ट क्लास AC, सेकंड क्लास AC, ऑर्डिनरी रिजर्व क्लास और नॉन रिजर्व क्लास। नॉन रिजर्व क्लास में जो जाने वाले हैं उनके ऊपर आप टिकट का बढ़ावा मत करिए। रिजर्व क्लास में जाते हैं थोड़ा सा बढ़ावा करिए, लेकिन AC और फर्स्ट क्लास AC में जाने वालों को ये प्रवास, मैं अगर बस से जाता हूं तो बड़े पैमाने मुझे कम से कम 5 गुना पैसा देना पड़ता है और रेलवे इतनी सस्ता हमें ले जाती है, सुविधा भी अच्छी होती है ऐसे मेरे ख्याल से बस से, तो उनको टिकट बढ़ाना कोई गैर बात है ऐसा मैं समझता नहीं। लेकिन उसमें जो छोटा आदमी है जिसकी कमाई बिल्कुल कम है उसके ऊपर उसका भार पड़ना नहीं चाहिए। आज गवर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉयज को क्या कम पैसा मिलता है? 5वां आयोग आ गया, 6ठा आयोग हो गया, 7वां आयोग की बात है। आज बैंक एम्प्लॉय ऐसा बोलते हैं कि हमें गवर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉयज को जो पैसा मिलता है उतना तो हमें पगार दीजिए। आज उनकी उल्टी मांग होने लगी है। तो ये ध्यान में रख के कहाँ न कहाँ ये बात आप लोगों ने करना चाहिए, ऐसा मेरा कहना है। दूसरा ऐसा है, मुंबई, दिल्ली, कलकत्ता, चेन्नई, ये जो गोल्डन कॉरिडोरियल जो ये है, वहाँ बड़े लैटरल जो है वो वहाँ बड़े पैमाने पर पैसेंजर और फ्राइट गाड़ियाँ चलती हैं। वो टोटल ट्रैक है 16% का खाली और उसके ऊपर 50% वाहतूक चलती है। तो क्या आप इसके वहाँ जरा सुधार करने के लिए और एक ट्रैक डालने का सोचेंगे क्या, ये आप सोचिए। दूसरा ऐसा है कि मुंबई के बारे में यहाँ कोई बोला कि नहीं मुझे मालूम नहीं, मेरे ख्याल से सुरेश जी को ये मालूमात है, लेकिन आज यहाँ राज्य मंत्री जी बैठे हैं, उनको भी मैं कहूँगा कम से कम एक दफ़ा वो ट्रेन से आप प्रवास करिए। लोग वहाँ खास करके महिला एक कैसी चढ़ती है, कैसी कूदी मार के चढ़ना पड़ता है, उसमें कैसी गिरती है, वो आपका प्लेटफॉर्म छोटा रहता है, रेल ऊपर रहती है, किस तरह से जाते आते हैं लोग वहाँ। और वो लोकल रेलवे जो है उससे आपका कोई नुकसान नहीं, हर जगह नुकसान होता है ऐसा आप बोलते हैं, वहाँ नुकसान भी नहीं है, हालांकि फायदा है। आप थोड़ा उसमें पासेस के ये बढ़ाइए, लेकिन सुविधा भी बढ़ाइए। सुविधा न बढ़ाने का क्या कारण है? वहाँ जमीन है, जमीन पे ट्रैक का क्यों नहीं बढ़ाते आप वो एंक्रोच जो लैंड है उसको खाली करने के लिए डरते हैं, या आपके ऑफिसर उसके ऊपर काम करते नहीं। दूसरी एक मेरी सजेशन है कि आपके ऑफिसेस में सारे आईएएस ऑफिसर्स रखते हो, रेलवे के कुछ अच्छे ऑफिसर भी वहाँ रखिए, वो आपको नई नई बातें बताएंगे, नई किस तरह से करना वो भी बताएंगे। जैसा कि मैं बोलता हूँ आपको, मेरे एक ऑफिसर ने मुझे बताया कि आपकी पैसेंजर ट्रेन जो है वो 30 किलोमीटर से चलती है पर आवर, वो 50 करने के लिए कोई खर्चा नहीं, कुछ नहीं, 50 किलोमीटर से वो चलेगी। वो देखने के लिए महिला आप इसका एक्सपीरियंस ये क्या हो सकता है, क्या उनका कहना है हो सकता है, ये सेंट्रल रेलवे के जनरल मैनेजर का कहना है। आप उनको लाइए यहाँ, उनसे बात करिए, बड़ा होशियार आदमी है। ऐसे लोगों का एक्सपीरियंस क्या है, उनका रिसर्च क्या है, वो भी देखिए। वो अगर होगा तो आपकी ये फास्ट ट्रेन है, आज आपकी फास्ट ट्रेन कितने स्पीड से चलती है? 50। ये क्या फास्ट ट्रेन है क्या? मैं यहाँ गया था हैनान में, चाइना में, वहाँ की ऑर्डिनरी ट्रेन 200 किलोमीटर से चलती है, ऑर्डिनरी ट्रेन। और हमारी ये बहुत अच्छी ट्रेन जो बोलते हैं वो भी 115 से के आगे जाती नहीं। जब कोंकण रेलवे बनी तो जॉर्ज फर्नांडिस के साथ में था, हम लोगों ने मीटिंगें कोंकण में की थी, और वो बार बार कहते थे कि ये ट्रेन बनने के बाद 160 किलोमीटर से चलेगी। आज वो भी नहीं चलती। क्यों नहीं चलती उसका जरा सोचिए, देखिए क्या उसमें मामला है। अच्छे दिन अगर आना है तो इस तरह से आ सकते हैं, ऐसा मेरा कहना है। और आपका एक रेलवे में अच्छी बातें करने का, आपने टॉयलेट के बारे में कहा है, स्वच्छ रेल अभियान, ऐसा कुछ, रेल स्वच्छ भारत, अच्छी बात है। उसके लिए आपके जो अभी जो टॉयलेट है वो बायो टॉयलेट, वैक्यूम टॉयलेट करने की भी सोच रहे हैं, कुछ बायो टॉयलेट हो भी गए हैं। लेकिन मेरा सजेशन ऐसा है कि आपके जो हर डब्बे में जो टॉयलेट है वो छोटे भी कर सकते हैं, वो और अच्छे भी कर सकते हैं, साफ सुथरा रहेंगे, वैक्यूम टॉयलेट होंगे तो अच्छा होगा। और वहाँ आप हर डिब्बे में कम से कम हर डिब्बे में कैटरिंग की भी व्यवस्था होनी चाहिए। वो क्या हम वो मारते चाय, वो बेचारा फर्स्ट क्लास या खासदा ये एमपी जाते हैं, उसके लिए सुविधा कुछ करते हैं, आते हैं जाते हैं बार बार, लेकिन पैसेंजर को वो चाय तक ठीक ढंग से मिलती नहीं। वो वही कंपार्टमेंट में अगर होगा तो मिलेगा, इसका भी आप जरूर विचार करिए। मैं फिर एक बात आपको कहूँगा महाराष्ट्र के बारे में, नांदेड़, वर्धा, नागपुर, ये आधा आप हमने काम छोड़ा है, वो पूरा करने के बारे में इस बजट में खास कुछ प्रावधान आपने किया नहीं, वो करिए। दूसरी एक सजेशन है, मुठखेड़ परभणी, ये डबल ट्रैक अगर करेंगे, उसका डबलिंग करेंगे तो आप मनमाड़ सिकंदराबाद लाइन के ऊपर जो कंजेशन होता है वो बिल्कुल कम हो जाएगा। दूसरा ऐसी विनती है जो आप जल्दी से जल्दी इसका उत्तर देते हुए भी कह सकते हैं, आप सुरेश जी से कहिए कि नांदेड़ में डिवीजन क्यों नहीं बनाते रेलवे की? वो डिवीजन है सिकंदराबाद में। माफ करना, मैं सिकंदराबाद के खिलाफ नहीं, लेकिन ये सारी ट्रेनें हैं वो बम्बई में जाने वाली ट्रेनें हैं, तो डिवीजन नांदेड़ में सिकंदराबाद में ट्रेनें इधर, ये जो मामला है वो खत्म करिए, डिवीजन नांदेड़ बनाइए। ये मांग कई सालों से हम लोगों की है, लेकिन आप लोग ये करते नहीं। दूसरी बात ऐसी है, रेलवे को जिस ढंग से सरकार ने मदद करनी चाहिए वो सरकार करती नहीं। रोड के लिए जितना पैसा खर्चा होता है उससे क्या क्या होता है। आप रेलवे अधिक अच्छी करेंगे तो मेरे ख्याल से रेलवे की वजह से एनर्जी कंजम्पशन 75-90% कम होता है, यूनिट कॉस्ट कम होती है, एनवायरमेंटल का प्रॉब्लम बिल्कुल कम होता है। मैं ये नहीं कहूँगा कि रोड मत बनाइए, लेकिन इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में सबसे ज़्यादा महत्व अगर किसको देना है तो रेलवे को देना चाहिए, ये मेरी मांग है। रेलवे में आज कर्मचारियों की 3,25,000 वैकेंसीज हैं। ये तो आंकड़ा बहुत ही बड़ा है। सबसे अच्छा एम्प्लॉयमेंट देने वाला अगर कोई विभाग होगा तो ये आपका है, और वहाँ ये वैकेंसीज रखने की वजह से मेंटेनेंस का प्रॉब्लम होता है, सेफ्टी का प्रॉब्लम होता है, एक्सीडेंट बड़े पैमाने के ऊपर होते हैं। ये आप इसमें बदलाव करने की मैं आपको विनती करता हूँ। दूसरा बात है, मैं अभी कोंकण रेलवे होने की वजह से पूना से मुंबई, नासिक से मुंबई कर्मचारी वर्ग लोग आते हैं, सुबह आते हैं, शाम को वापस जाते हैं। वैसे रत्नागिरी से आप मुंबई तक सुबह फास्ट ट्रेन अगर रखेंगे तो वहाँ से रत्नागिरी, चिपलून, महाड़, पनवेल से लोग वो ट्रेन से आएंगे और शाम को वापस जाएंगे। ये आपको मैं विनती करता हूँ, इतना आप ज़रूर करिए। मैंने कुछ लेटर भी आपको लिखे कि खेड़ और चिपलून के बीच में एक आप ये बनाइए, शिव करके एक गांव है, वहाँ स्टेशन की मांग है, वो पूरी करिए। वो करेंगे तो पैसेंजर, मैं ये नहीं कहता कि फास्ट ट्रेन वहाँ रुकिए, लेकिन ये अपना पैसेंजर ट्रेन अगर रुकेगी तो वहाँ के लोगों को, वहाँ के 15 गाँव को वो सुविधा हो जाएगी। ये सारी बातें आप, मैं बोलता हूँ, आपने कुछ बातें अच्छी की है, ये बजट में भी कुछ बातें अच्छी रखी हैं। ये मैं नहीं कहता कि पूरा बजट बुरा है, और बुरा मैं बोला भी नहीं, अच्छा ठीक बजट है, लेकिन इसमें कुछ सुधार अगर करेंगे तो अच्छा रहेगा। और ख़ास करके महाराष्ट्र के बारे में मैंने जो कहा उसके बारे में एक बात और है, ख़ास करके यूपी वालों के लिए है, तुलसी ट्रेन चलती है, तुलसी ट्रेन चलती है मुंबई से इलाहाबाद तक। वहाँ के लोगों की मांग ऐसे है कि हफ्ते में 2 दफ़ा चलाते हैं, वो पूरे 7 दिन चलाइए ना, 7 दिन नहीं चलती, कम से कम 5 दिन चलाइए ना। वहाँ बड़े पैमाने पर लोग काम करते हैं। वैसा ही हमारे लोगों का कहना ऐसा है कि ये अजमेर में जाने वाले बहुत लोग रहते हैं, तो रत्नागिरी अजमेर ये ट्रेन आप एक हफ्ते में 1 दफ़ा चलाते हो, वो हर दिन चलाइए, ऐसी भी मांग हम लोगों की है। तो मैं ये कहता हूँ, मैं समाप्त करता हूँ उपसभापति जी। मेरा कहना ऐसा है कि इसमें कोंकण रेलवे जिस ढंग से बनी वो मॉडल आप हर जगह लेके जा सकते हैं। प्राइवेटाइजेशन कौन प्राइवेटाइजेशन के लिए आएगा, फायदा होगा तो प्राइवेटाइज, कि क्या आपको लगता है कि बड़े बड़े लोग उसमें आएंगे, खर्चा करेंगे? आज मोनो रेल हमारे इधर मुंबई में चली है, उसका कल क्या हुआ आज पेपर में पड़ा होगा, क्योंकि उसमें उनको कुछ इंटरेस्ट नहीं। मेरा कहना ऐसा है कि कोंकण रेलवे कारपोरेशन जिस ढंग से बना और वो रेल अच्छी चलती है, वहाँ कर्मचारियों के बारे में बहुत सारे प्रॉब्लम है, वो मैं आपसे अलग तरह से बताऊंगा क्योंकि यहाँ टाइम नहीं है मुझे। लेकिन मेरा आपको विनती है कि इस तरह के कारपोरेशन हर जगह आप बना के, मेरे ख्याल से यहाँ बनाए हैं आपने कश्मीर में, लेकिन कश्मीर में बहुत सारा प्रॉब्लम जो आ गया है वो वहाँ के कुछ लोगों ने प्रॉब्लम निर्माण करने का काम किया है, उसके ऊपर भी आप ध्यान दीजिए। और कोंकण रेलवे के बारे में बहुत सारी कंप्लेन भी है, उसके बारे में मैं आपसे पत्र लिख के जिक्र करूंगा। धन्यवाद। जय हिंद, जय भारत।